Hey guys, welcome to the vlog. So I think this might be the vlog you guys, some of you have been waiting for. I have my pipe. And I know nothing about pipe smoking. Just, I just know the general pipe, tobacco, cleaners, lighter, and pack to some extent. So if you ask me what kind of pipe this is or what the, I don't know. So I know it's not a corncob pipe. That's all I know. So, but I got into pipe smoking um, just because it's somewhat cheaper than cigars to an extent. So I don't know. We're gonna give this one a go and see how this, if my lighter will light. Okay, I know it's got fuel. Jesus Christ. Lighter fail. Oh, I got it. Oh, yes. Okay. So there we go. Okay, so it's going. So sorry, I gotta keep this going so that way I don't have to redo everything again. So yeah, so I figured I'd do this vlog because what time I do one, and it's early Saturday morning, and by I mean early Saturday morning, I mean literally the earliest possible Saturday morning vlog that I could ever do. Hey guys, I'm gonna. Sorry, just getting you set up for the reading your comments. And so I thought I'd talk about um, an interesting subject. Actually, it's not that interesting. Uh, yeah, so maybe I should just start with why I got into pipe smoking. Like I said, it's cheaper because, and if you guys are wondering what I'm smoking in here, it's Captain Black. Whoop. Uh, this is kind of like the original Captain Black pipe tobacco one. So, and so I got into pipe smoking just because like a pack of this, which lasts me a week or 2 weeks if I'm constantly smoking, um, is like $8. So it's generally cheaper Use a cigar up here is like $8. So and it gives me more of a controllable uh, time set in terms of how long I can smoke for. So yeah, so what have I been doing recently? Not sleeping, that's for sure. Had the most interesting experience this morning. I I didn't sleep at all last night, and I decided, okay, I'm really tired, and I woke up this morning. I have this condition which some of you might be aware about. This is reminding me why I don't smoke pipes that often. Um, that called cluster headaches, and what they are is basically the worst possible type of headache you can ever get. They're worse than migraines, and what happens is that they don't know what causes it, and there's really no treatment for it besides basically damaging all the nerves in that area so that you can't feel them. And usually I get them on basically you get them on one side of your head and like it goes down your entire face, and it feels like you lose like your muscle control on one side, so your eye starts to droop, and it's not fun. So I got one of those this morning. So I'm like, and sometimes and nausea comes along with it too. So I'm like, I'm nauseous. I'm in pain. It was raining, so I'm wet. It's in the morning, so I'm cold, and I didn't sleep, so I'm tired. So I'm like, I'm wet, I'm tired, I'm cold, I'm in pain, and I'm nauseous. I'm like, today's off to a great start. And so yeah, that was no fun, but it was it sucked. Um, in terms of so I got to school and I just wanted to take a nap, and I was like half hour early, so I figured I'd take like a 20-minute nap. So I took a 20-minute nap in my car when I found a parking spot. I woke up and I didn't think I had found a parking spot. Like I thought like I had fallen asleep like at like a light or something. So like my foot was still on the because I woke up with my foot still on the brake. So I'm like, shit, my car is on. Am I still in drive? And then it turns, I thought I was still in drive, and my car's still on. I'm like, oh shit. And then I'm like, turns out I was parked in a parking spot. So I had one of those oh shit moments when I woke up. Yeah, this might be one of the few times you see me smoke a pipe on the vlog. Just because it can be, it's getting to, it's already quite annoying. But I do like the way the tobacco smells, even though it's artificially flavored, which So, uh, today I've just been really reconnecting with another one of my, with an old friend of mine that I used to have back when I was in elementary school, and she moved to Oklahoma, and she's moving back. So I've been talking to her recently, and because we have incredibly similar interests, and so it's fun. You know, it's fun to kind of reconnect, especially when you have so much in common with the person, and you're like, ah, it's pretty cool. And the what was I gonna say? Um, and I just was thinking about all these different things today, like what I'm taking next semester. Like plan on, like I said, I want to take guitar lessons and vocal lessons. So that should be fun to learn how to sing a little bit better, and that's what I'm looking forward to the most is learning how to sing a little bit better because, like I said, I can carry a tune well enough to when I'm singing in the car, it's not like a complete annoyance. Um, but I'm not gonna win any competitions, that's for sure. Like on a range of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, one being the worst, I'm like a 6. So, or 5.5, 5.5 to a 6. So that's that's the good news. And but yeah, the but yeah, just overall, it's been a long week. But I've also been thinking of jokes. Because I want to get into doing open mic nights and stand up and stuff like that. Because one of the things about me that if you know that you hang out with me just when I'm kind of we're talking face to face. Um, I like to make a lot of jokes a lot, so and I seem to do okay. I have no idea why people find me funny at all, but it's kind of interesting. So I've been writing, or not writing a few, but just thinking of a few that I could write about. And I thought of one recently about um, a lot of them kind of go harken back to religion because religion is the easiest thing to pull jokes from. So I figured, well, let's let's pull some religious jokes out, and so I pulled out. I read. I was raised Catholic, so I'm thinking of all these Catholic jokes and things, and the joke about confirmation and accepting, you know, allow the Lord and Savior to enter you. So I'm like, Lord and Savior to enter me. I'm or, like, the Lord and Savior to penetrate me. How does he plan on doing that? Am I going to be bummed by the Lord? Do I at least get lube? I don't know. That's just kind of what that's what jokes are made out of. I just kind of my jokes are kind of made out of. I just kind of think about stupid shit like that, and then I clean them up a little bit. So Because that's the first place my mind went when I'm like, accept the Lord and Savior into you. I'm like, how? Given the reputation of the Catholic Church, I want to know how you plan to do that. Am I going to get bummed by the Lord? Do I at least get lube? or the infamous, actually this wasn't my joke, but I read it somewhere, it was pretty funny. It was that if you get not, if you get chosen to be the child's godfather, you're supposed to guide the child spiritually. I'm like, so the joke was, yeah, I'll guide the child spiritually as far as I can away from here. And yeah, it was yeah, I thought that was hilarious. An atheist getting nominated as the child's godfather. Okay. By the way, I was also thinking of some of the kid jokes that talking to this person, talking to this friend of mine, and reconnecting with. She kind of shares the same views on children as I do. In that, I've basically come to the conclusion that I don't ever plan on I don't know if I would want kids just because I don't really I don't mind kids too much, but I think if any couple wants to have kids, then they should sit in Chuck E. Cheese for 2 hours before making up their mind. I think if they do that, then Larry the Cable Guy's joke should apply really well. He made a joke about putting a vasectomy machine right next to the skee ball. I'm like, yeah, I think that I think if you sit in Chuck E. Cheese long enough, that machine will get used. So I basically can come to the conclusion, maybe I'll just be the fun uncle that that they, because the uncle gets all the benefits of the kid, all the benefits of having kids with none of the downsides. I mean, unless the kid stays over, if you have to watch him for an extended period of time. Because once the kid starts acting up, you can just hand it off to its parents and go, "Your problem." So that's what I always kind of thought of my opinions of kids. Man, this is pain in the ass. I now remember why I don't smoke pipes. Jesus. And so, yeah, those are kind of my thoughts on it. Um, yeah, yeah, I may just be the fun uncle who. No, I'll probably the one that the uncle that scares everyone and piss out of the kids. Be the, Mommy, why does weird Uncle Wyatt have a skull on his mantle? Man, this is a pain. Oh. And Lucid Music, so I'm going to go into reading your comments. Lucid Music says, that's what's up, great job. Thank you so much. Your channel will be linked in the description down below. Mark, you left a comment saying, Riot Wyatt, that's what I should call you from now on. This vlog was a riot. But I have to ask, what is that you're wearing? Is it a jacket? A robe? It's a North Face windbreaker jacket that I got a couple years ago. They're incredibly overpriced for what they are, but they work great. So I wouldn't spend my money on them. But if somebody's gonna give me one, sure. You know, they work great. You know, they're great jackets. So, but they're very overpriced. This is ridiculous. Okay, I have concluded that this is a pain in the ass. Oh, so I got my tool here to scrape out. I'm not gonna retamper this because I think it's kind of nuts. I know this is like blasphemy and I'm wasting this tobacco, but in all honesty, it's. I did pick up some more cigars, so I'm gonna go get one now. So here we go. So I'm just gonna. So this is an Avo domain. I think it's pronounced. Well, probably not. It's probably some Spanish. Pretty thick ring gauge, though. Great cut. Here. Yeah. I don't think I'll be doing many vlogs with my pipe anymore. Because that was no fun. Now, I like to smoke a pipe when I'm doing just work that I don't have to talk. That way I can always be constantly taking drags on it and not having to stop for an extended period of time to talk. or if I have breaks in between talking to listen to somebody else. Basically, anything besides when I'm talking constantly. I'm a genius. You had to wipe the tobacco off the end. I'm a genius. I swear I'm smart, but you can't prove it. Ooh, much better. Yeah, to me, cigars are always going to be number one. I'm glad you were able to get some sleep, but you're talking too fast. Slow down a bit so I can keep up with you. Probably all that coffee and monster drinks. Try a nice juicy juice. It was that, amongst other things that made me racing through what I was saying. So, not just the monster or the coffee, because what I have a uh, basically I have ADHD and I don't take I have a prescription for medication for it, uh, and what that medication is basically amphetamine, and I don't take it, often because it's actually not allowed by the NCAA. But since I'm not in season, I decided I need, it would help me during this hell week. So I'm like, and it helps me stay up to get shit done. So I decided to take it in that little blog, and I just realized it's like, wow, you get shit done when you take it, but man, when you take the medication, it's like if my heart feels like it's gonna explode, but I'm getting a ton of shit done. So it's kind of interesting in that regard. Um, yeah, so sorry about that. I didn't realize that till the other night. It's good that you're ahead in school, and any chance you'll be able to graduate ahead of time? No. Or does that only apply to high school? It only really applies to high school. I mean, you can graduate ahead of time in college, but I'm ahead of schedule if I was if I only had one major. But since I'm a double major, I'm not really ahead of schedule, which sucks. You're saving your smoked up cigars and have about a box worth just sitting in that ashtray. Doesn't that leave a smell? Um, to an extent, but with the amount that I have in there and the variety of different cigars that I have in there, that the ash has kind of given off kind of a sweet, it's an ash smell, but it actually has a sweet undertone to it. So I don't entirely mind it. So it's not terrible, and I'm just kind of curious as to how many it holds. I always take mine to the trash once I'm done with it. And that's something else I've been meaning to ask you. Do you stamp out your cigars when you're done with it, or am I wrong? Because experts say you're supposed to let the cigar out on its own, otherwise it will smoke up and put off some really bad smoky odors. I guess I I can't my I crush mine out because I don't like the idea of something burning that I'm not paying attention to, like even if it is just a cigar. Oh yeah, so this Avo cigar is not the particular Avo cigar that I really enjoy, the Avo Classic, but I'm enjoying it. I've always kind of enjoyed Avo cigars. You know, they get the that reputation as being an old man cigar, but I'm fine with that. Sometimes you need a bit of a just a general, you know, not gonna kick your butt blend. You know, just a nice, mellow, easygoing blend. Um, and sorry about that. I just had to. I'm responding to a bunch of things as they come in. Um, so yeah, I don't. I stomp mine out or stamp mine out in the ashtray, just because it's yeah. I don't want something burning that I'm not paying attention to, even if it's in the ashtray. God knows what. I don't know, man. The last thing I need is my house burning down because I forgot to tamp out a cigar. You know, and that would be just my luck too. You know, that would be exactly something that does happen to me. And it does. I mean, I guess it kind of leaves an odor, but smoke rises and I keep the ashtray over there. It's like I guess if I put it right under my nose, I guess it would bug me, or right next to me, but it's over on that side of the desk and I'm over here, so it doesn't really bother me. But as to what I use to cut my cigars, are scissors. A friend of mine got me a pair a few years back, and I still have them. But I have a punch cutter on my keychain. I use if I just happen to want a cigar when I'm out, when I'm away and not at home. Yeah, scissors are good. I just don't. I find that you know, like I said, I'm very lazy, which is what it amounts to. So like probably if I didn't have the Cuban Crafted Perfect Cutter, I'd probably be using a punch, just because it's really hard to you know, because with a normal guillotine you have to find the cap and cut it, and then you have to um and with scissors the same thing, you have to find the cap and cut it, and like with this it goes right to the cap, cut, you do not even looking, so it's perfect. It is absolutely perfect for me. It sounds like you're getting your classes where you want them, and hopefully it will work out so you can get Fridays off. But I didn't hear you say anything about not having to work at the gas station that day. Oh, so I don't work the gas stations on Fridays. I work the gas stations on Sundays, and then the rest of the time I'm working at Sports Authority. Besides Saturdays, which I get tomorrow off or today off, and so I'm pretty excited about that. And so I will be exploiting that to the fullest extent tomorrow. And so yeah, so yeah, I'll be exploiting that to the fullest extent tomorrow. getting together with a buddy of mine. Who actually I'm getting together with my coach, who is also a friend of mine. So we'll be getting together. So that's gonna be fun. So yeah, I still have to worry sports story, but trust me, this way just having one less thing to deal with that day is gonna be fine. It's gonna be awesome. Fuck me. Lost a bit of the leaf. But it looks like the binder's holding, so lost a bit of the wrapper, but the binder's holding, so not a big deal. I'm all for long weekends, that means more Wyatt time to play. Yeah, I need a few long weekends in my schedule coming up. Is your humid still having humidity problems? Gonna good luck being able to take it apart and repair it. If it's a humidity problem, maybe all you need is a new hydrometer or those water beads. Yeah, so what I use in my humidor for humidification is I don't use those green plastic crap that comes with the humidor because it's those are such a pain in the ass in terms of like maintaining humidity because you have to like take them out or put them back in depending on where the humidity is, and and it's just it's a pain. Um, so what I use is heartfelt beads, which are two-way systems, so they absorb humidity and release humidity at a certain percentage. And I usually keep it around 65, 67%. But and then I also use on top of those in the same humidor. I use a Cigar Oasis machine, which is an activated. It has a fan in it. It circulates the air in there, and once the humidity drops below what I set it at, it kicks in and it releases more humidity into the humidor. But the problem is that anybody I talk to who uses heartfelt beads go, oh yeah, I'm only having to recharge my beads once a month or once every 2 months. Same thing with like the Cigar Oasis. I'm like, I have to do mine every other week, and it's like that just tells me that humidity is escaping from my humidor very very rapidly, and so I think that's because it's got a really shit seal in the on the door to open it. So I'm probably gonna see if I can attach some cedar lining to the door so that way it can form a more tighter seal when it closes. And then I'm going to seal all the glass panes around it to hopefully, just make sure that there's not a seal leak there. So hopefully that doesn't, and hopefully I'm able to do it to salvage this humidor. But it'll be interesting to hear how that turns out, and if you can get it back to where it works for you. What are you keeping your cigars in if your humidor isn't working properly? So it's not working. It's it's working, but it's working terribly. Meaning, it's not something that I can just sit and passively, address. It's like active checking and make sure everything's running right. And or now I just like if I have a cigar in there, I just smoke it very very quickly. But it does hold humidity a little bit. It's over long periods of time it really sucks. So I'm just kind of dealing with it until I have the time to really address the issue and break it down. I have another humidor, which I think is it's a really good humidor, but it doesn't hold. It only holds 20. So it and it's 20 small cigars, not box. It wouldn't hold a box. So I'm probably gonna season that up, get that ready to go to put the cigars in while I'm working on this my main humidor. You said that you were running out of cigars and that we might see you smoke a pipe. You did, and it was an epic fail. That'll be different, really different. What do you, Romeo Roy will think about that one? I don't know what he'll think. He'll probably think I'm an absolute failure at smoking pipes. And so once you get the piercings in, you're gonna update your avatar. Cool. I should do a new one myself. That's a bit clearer than what I have up now. I hope to be able to get in a few second hello video for you coming up if things work out right. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm not the best when it comes to all the workings of YouTube. Neither am I. Uh, but what can you do? You just kind of pick up things as you go. Like I said, like when I'm doing Epic Mad Science, like I'll go, oh, I want to, put this kind of an edit in. Then I'll look at like how to do it. Then I'll have to learn how to do that and teach myself how to do that, and that'll take a while. So it's more just don't try to learn everything at once. Just kind of learn as you go. It's you know when you decide you want to do something particular with your video, just that's when you learn it. Don't try to learn everything at once. Because trust me, you'll be sitting. You'll be there for a while. Um, nor will I be doing much uploading since I'm here more for the watching and chatting. But I would like to do a quick video, pop on to say hello to you. Yeah, I'd be definitely love to watch it. It's funny how you said you need to learn a new language just to be able to cuss on the court. Want to know something? I googled some words in different languages and it brought them up. Some even with the audio button on some sites. It took me to so I knock yourself out. Uh, oh, so even with the audio button on some sites it took me to. So knock yourself out and have fun with it. It takes a lot to ruffle your feathers, and you have a long fuse. Does that mean you have a takes you long to shoot off, explode? LOL. Um, shit. This is where. Does that mean what I think it means? And this is where I get in trouble for having my policy of whatever you ask, I will answer honestly. I have no idea how I'm gonna answer this question. Oh, Mark. Oh God. Yes. There you go. Yes, in simple terms, yes. Uh, well, it looks like it looks as if we both gotten interrupted, so now I have to race away, and we'll wrap this up. But if there's any, if there are a lot of scientists in hell, surely they would have to have been able to figure out a way to create a working AC down there, or at the very least, make ice water. Yeah, exactly. That's too bad you don't have a better relationship with your sister. Hopefully that will change. I take leave of this comment and await your next great vlog. Until then, Mark. Yeah, my sister, I have a kind of a shit relationship with a lot of, um, with a few people in my family, like, my dad and my sister, and so it happens. That's why I say family is, that, that, that you should look out for your friends first, and if your friends happen to be family members, well, more power to, then that's great. But friends come first, and if your family members happen to be friends, well, that's it's a bonus. And Rory says, "Looks like somebody beat me to the comments tonight. Lucid music. Well, at least I won't be the only viewer to say something." Okay, Mark will probably weigh in as well as at some point, but getting to the vlog, superb. When you said that you were dropping your physics and math classes, my first reaction was, "What the fuck?" Um, and here I thought that those are the two subjects that were of special interest to you, considering your tutoring videos you made and the Epic Mad Science channel. Yeah, so what I'm doing is I'm dropping my physics class because I've taken it before, and my university has a policy where you can retake a class that you're not happy with the grade in, and you can get the second attempt grade to replace the first grade. And I was initially not happy with the first attempt's grade, which was a C. Yeah, I know. I can be quite the perfectionist, and I'm like, oh my god, it's a C. And but then I'm just like, at this point, I'm like, forget it. I'll take the C. Like that's fine with me. And the math one is just, I mean, I'm taking another math class right now, so I was technically taking two, so that should be fine. And I'm sure at some point you want to get that, you want to get your GPA up. Yeah, I mean, it's not my GPA is not terrible. Like it's a 2.9. It's like a B, or it's technically a 3.0 is a B and a 2.7 is a B plus, a B minus. So it's like pretty close to a B. So not terrible, for an undergrad. So I don't mind that too much. I must have missed the vlog where you said you wanted to teach high school because I thought film industry is where you want to get into. I the film industry is is something that I want to dabble in. In that, I love to write um these movies, but you have to also be aware that you know there's a good chance that you only hear about the people who've made it, and I don't ever want to really be that next Quentin Tarantino or next Spielberg or this household name. I mean, I would like, I want to produce movies on that same level of quality, but I don't want to um, be this big budget movie director. So um, I kind of just want to stick to indie films with, um, and I don't want to do a lot of them. Like I don't ever plan on like, sustaining a career off movies. I want to be able to like choose if I do a movie, and if I have an idea for a movie, write it. If I don't, I don't. I don't want to be like it's one of those things like it's more of a hobby that I'd like to make money off of on the side than I would as like a career. So I like to teach high school. And he says, and you don't need a class on video. You already do a great job making videos now. All your channels prove that. Thank, thank you. The reason why I'm taking it is because I really want to see if I can do more with the videos that I'm making. In that, I want to see if I can edit a little bit better, learn how to edit a little bit better, and 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 um, and just learning the ins and outs of video, lighting, adjusting because I have no idea how to do color correct or or things like that. So I'm kind of more interested in learning how to do that. Um, I took guitar lessons too for many years. I had two acoustics and one electric. I don't play anymore. I don't have the guitars now. If you were wondering, yeah, that's a bummer. um, yeah, I've always wanted to learn guitar ever since I was young. Even before I took up piano, I was kind of pushed into piano a little bit um, versus guitar. So I just decided like, well, you know, I'm in college and I guess now's as good a time as any. So yeah, decided let's get let's take guitar lessons. And I've been meaning to mention that ashtray of yours. You're saving your cigars to see how many it will hold. Why? Are you planning on having a cigar party with only that ashtray to put your ashes and discard sticks into? Um, no, but I'm just kind of curious, in all honesty, just because it's one, it's such a large ashtray that it's just kind of just curiosity for me, like how many it would hold, and also with a desk ashtray sort of like this, that you know, I the measure, at least in my mind, of a good desk ashtray is how many cigars it holds. So it's because my desk is messy, so and it's not something that I plan. I don't want to be constantly emptying it. So if I'm going on an all-night smoking binge, which I have before, um, because that's some of some of my techniques for staying up and not sleeping and getting for these long extended projects are you know smoking a lot. So that's what I'll do. I've had nights where I'll have, you know, 4 cigars, 5 cigars from midnight to whatever time I go to school. So it's it's one of that's kind of how I do it. Uh, you asked what tool we use to cut our cigars. At the present time, I still use a guillotine cutter, but I'm told the punch cutter works better because it doesn't cause as much loose tobacco to come off as other types of cutters. Yeah, punch is good. The only problem I found with a punch is, when I have a punch and I kind of use that when I lose my cutter, like because uh, the punch is in the the Prometheus, um, and they're good, but the problem is sometimes if you're too rough, you can damage the you can crack the cigar down there. That just might be a problem that I'm having, or I don't know, it might be a common problem. But whenever I've used the perfect cutter, is because whenever I've seen kind of loose tobacco be an issue is really when you cut past the cap, and luckily with this thing is that you really can't cut past the cap. You always cut it at a cap with this one, and so that's what I genuinely like about it is that it really causes no loose tobacco, and when you cut it, it holds all the tobacco between the blades and the back, so you can just cut it and then just empty it out over the ashtray. This is the best. It's like this is $14, I think, on Amazon or something like that, and it's like the best $14 I've spent because there's cutters out there that go for like 40, $50. That I'd take this over any day. I mean, it's not that appealing. It's one huge block of steel. Basically, everything's steel in it, but um, it's perfect in terms of just what it does. So not pretty, but it's sure as hell is makes up for that in functionality. So I love it. He says, I hope that your schedule will work out so you can get your Fridays off. That would be nice. What about your job? Would you still be scheduled to work Fridays too? Yes, I would still be scheduled to work Fridays, but trust me, that would be so much easier. Even if I'm just working Fridays, and I don't have to go to school, that's so much easier than going to both school and work. Because it's draining after a while, man. Like, I know the cigar hangout was on a Friday, and you had to wait until you got off and home to get it started. Any chance of doing a Saturday cigar hangout? Chris always works Fridays and would never be able to participate because he gets home very late Saturday morning, but does have weekends off. Yes, yes. I just kind of chose Friday because it was just the first day that kind of popped into my head, and so I'm just like, oh yeah, sure, let's do Fridays. So that's why I chose Friday. But yeah, we can definitely do Saturday vlog. I'm thinking of doing a Saturday hangout. I'm thinking of not this weekend, but maybe the following weekend. I'll confirm that soon because I know that it is the holiday kind of coming up. Thanksgiving's coming up, um, which sucks for me because I think I'm working both Thanksgiving um, and Black Friday. So yeah, not looking forward to that. He says I found your remarks about Russia to be very funny. And I'm with you, seeking Russia on a shared enemy such as ISIS or any other terror group might prove to be a good thing because, much like you're saying, you don't mess with Texas, much like the saying, you don't mess with Texas, you're liable to get your ass kicked real good. But the death of the mastermind behind the atrocity is a good thing, and while even though there's probably hundreds more waiting in the wings to take his place and to, continue to terror, that one won't be able to add any more to the cause. Yeah, I always say, you know, even if the people say, you know, you kill one, but there's still hundreds more. I'm like, well, now there's at least not 101 more. One's a start. Wow, this thing is burning like shit. Um, and if they do strike at us here, they may just arouse another sleeping lion ready to pounce even more harder since our own 9/11 has made us more determined to fight this enemy on whatever front need be. Yeah, I mean, uh, I mean, to the extent we're already fighting them, I think we're already bombing them. I believe, or we're supporting. No, we're arming the people who are fighting them. So in a way, we are fighting them already in some second-hand sort of way. But it'd be interesting if we actually did get involved, and I think we are to an extent getting involved with special forces. So, and while I feel bad for the Syrian refugees, I would have to agree that it's better that we safeguard our nation's security and by not allowing them to come, as to risk one imposter, which, as we've already seen, one of the perpetrators of this act was in fact posing as a refugee, and almost all of our states have said no to granting them entry. Congress has also stepped in as well on this, and so I think Obama has his hands tied for now on the issue and cannot override the vote here. Watch for a little video responses vlog he will post to the channel soon. Thanks again, Wyatt. And this was worth watching Rory. So I disagree with you on this Syrian refugee crisis, mostly because we can't turn a blind eye, because what basically, if we refuse them entry, you're basically condemning them to die, because whether they're being killed by our bombs, which some of them are, or France's bombs or Russia's or ISIS or anything. Basically, if we don't allow them, you know, to get out of that country, we're basically condemning thousands, 10,000, 100,000, millions of people to die. And I think that is incredibly sad, and that because we have Because there was an interesting study done, and I'm not going to get into too much on this right now because I'm going to talk about this in a video separate from this one because it's such a big overarching issue. I actually tried to shoot or do this vlog yesterday, but the problem was it went 3.5 hours, and 2.5 hours of this was talking about the Syrian refugee crisis. So I don't think I'll be talking too much on that issue now, and just because of the sheer amount of it, amount of information. But I just don't, you know, there was an interesting survey taken during World War II whether we should accept, you know, Jewish refugees into our country. Um, for to help them escape the Holocaust or the persecution. And what's basically going over, and most of America said no. And the reason they gave was for fear of Nazi imposters. And we now look at what happens, and we all ask ourselves, well, why didn't we help them? And we're now facing a very similar crisis, and we're facing the same decision, and we're making the same choice. And I don't want to. And what's basically going on over there in Syria is basically the same thing. It's a genocide of the Syrian people. So by closing our doors to them, we're basically condemning them to die, and we're their only when we're one of their only hopes of surviving. And I believe that even if we do have take on some risk of accepting them, to some extent that would be worth it for the amount of people that we save. Because that's what we're doing. We're not just taking them in because they're looking for a place to go. Well, they're looking for a place to go, but the reason why they're looking for a place to go is because if they don't find a place to go, they're gonna die. So, it's not to gain our benefits. It's to keep from dying that they're trying to come here. So, and that's what we'd be doing by taking them in. We'd be saving that amount of people. And at that point, does it really matter? Does it matter who we're saving? Does it matter if they're American or not? I think it looks good either way. I think it's a good, I don't think, I think it's a, good to save people either way, no matter what, ethnicity they are, or what country they're from. Saving X amount of people, no matter, what country they belong to is important and equally valid no matter what country they come from. So while we incur a small risk, that risk is substantiated by or compensated by the amount of people we're saving. So it's just the striking parallels between what's being said now and what was said about the Jewish people during the Holocaust is very striking, and so that's why I'm a big supporter of 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 of, of, of allowing the Syrian refugees to come here, because I mean, I'm not saying don't monitor them when they come here, but I don't know. There's got to be some way to minimize our risk of taking them in, but still being able to take them in. So I don't know. That's my short thoughts on this issue. I'm gonna do a longer, expanded vlog or video on it later. But thank you, Roy, for your comment. I will and I will see you guys in the next vlog. Bye.